Okay, Anne Hobbs, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Absolute pleasure.
Are you looking forward to playing at Deviate at Newcastle tonight?
I cannot wait. You know, they've got a serious reputation, the people of Newcastle, and as I understand it, there's a really, really interesting underground scene that's happening in the city. There's a lot of knowledge about, you know, the type of music that I'm going to be bringing into this place. So I'm going to hit them low and hard and deep and heavy. And hopefully, you know, we'll kill it down there tonight. I'm hoping so very much. I've got a set with all kinds of different artists, all sorts of different textures of sound. You know, obviously the dubstep spectrum is very, very broad. So I'm going to try and rep all of my favourite producers within the next kind of couple of hours or so. So yeah, let's see what they bite on, the people of Newcastle.
Excellent. Okay, you must get sent a lot of music every week. It's got to be hard to fit everything into a 2-hour show. How much of it doesn't get played?
God, that's a really good question. To be honest, it's absolute agony choosing the music that gets played on BBC Radio 1. I could... wow, I would love to have maybe 3 shows a week instead of 1. And obviously for me, these days, with the advent of MySpace opening up in the way that it has done in the last couple of years, it's not just about listening to music that's been sent to me, it's about actively seeking music for myself, you know. It's about looking at all of your favourite producers' friends on MySpace and going through their top friends and then going through their friends' friends and their friends' friends, and it's almost like an endless pathway now. It's a yellow brick road that's never ending, really. So it's a vast process researching the programme, and at some point really you just have to kind of draw a line in the sand and go, right, okay, let's build a show out of this music that we have. But it is one of those things that now I think, I wonder how a broadcaster like John Peel would have even coped, you know what I mean, with the advent of the internet opening in the way that it has done, and the fact that it's created such an amazing sort of level playing field for every producer. I mean, the last thing that I usually look at is actually a record that's come to me that's attached to a well-known label. I tend to be seeking a lot more broadly and a lot further, and it's all the newer, much more abstract, unsigned artists who are just bouncing their first tunes onto MySpace. That's where the real excitement lives for me now. But oh God, yeah, it's agony. It's agony. I mean, to get 2 plays on the show means that the tune is massive. To get 3 plays on the show means I'll probably marry you. You know, but like I said, there's so much amazing music out there and just so little time. So yeah, it's a crushing process.
Your show covers pretty much the whole spectrum of underground dance music, but you do play a lot of dubstep. Is that now your favourite genre?
I think I reacted to dubstep in the same way that John Peel reacted to punk when it came along. When I was a little girl, I used to listen to Peel like when I was just a little baby, practically. You know, I lived in a tiny village. It was a long time ago. It was very, very isolated in Lancashire, and my dad hated music, and every single record that I ever brought into the house he used to find and smash to bits. But he never found this little tiny transistor radio that I had, and I used to be right under the covers at night, and I used to be scrolling across this little dial looking for Peel, searching for Peel. And it was funny because I watched the way that Peel reacted to punk, and it was literally an overnight transition. I mean, he went from playing 25-minute Jimmy Page solos, you know, and Led Zeppelin jams on the show, to all of a sudden discovering punk, and his show changed overnight. Not that he abandoned every other music that he loved, but he had such a passionate belief in punk, and he went on to become a really sort of vociferous champion, obviously, of the genre. And I think to a degree, dubstep did the same thing for me, really. I mean, I'm sort of, I guess, notorious as Radio 1's evangelist of that sound, but it was one of those moments in life, I guess. You know, I'd been supporting the sound quite intensively on the show, but it was the moment that I first walked through the doors of DMZ in South London, in Brixton, and I heard this music, you know, this amazing, physical, spiritual, just incredible music actually played in the setting that it was built for, you know. You walk into DMZ and it's a dirty black room. There's nothing in there at all except a couple of giant speaker stacks, but the music that the producers are making, the dubstep producers, is ostensibly made to be played out on a system like that in a very, very simple setting. And when you feel the presence of that music in the correct environment that it was originally made for. God, it's just, I mean, it will change your life completely, and that's what happened to me, I think. And overnight, I could see this amazing emerging scene, socially as well as musically. I think it's an incredible scene. I think it's a brand new model, really, in terms of, you know, the way that scenes have operated in the past. I think it's a really incredible new model for the 21st century, and it touched me so deeply. And yeah, I went on to become its biggest evangelist. Not that I would ever abandon the other music that I play. Sure. But yeah, it's here, it's in my heart.
Would you ever consider making it like 100% dubstep?
No, not 100%, because I think the beauty of music, even dubstep, is that it moves forward step by step every single day. And I guess what happens with the media is that the media tend to seize upon what they perceive as a new genre at a real flashpoint in the scene. And I think there were certainly maybe Dubstep Wars, which was the show that we did in January of 2006, which is now the show that's kind of recognised as breaking the sound to the world for the first time. That was just me recognising that the producers were ready. You know, I'd felt the momentum building over the last 6 months, and I knew that they could come with the beats and that they were ready to do this. But you know, we couldn't possibly really have anticipated the type of reaction we would get to that show. It was just amazing.
The next question actually was, Dubstep Wars did open up the sound to a lot of people. Have you noticed a change in the scene since then?
I think what's happened is, really, when you listen back to Dubstep Wars now, I mean, it moves me to tears still, that programme. There was just such a magic in the air that night in the studio. I think if you can do one show like that in a lifetime, like Dubstep Wars, then you know, you are seriously blessed by the Lord himself. But I think what's happened is, and it's one of the most interesting aspects of dubstep for me, is the way that the sound has been allowed to expand. There are a lot of other genres build very, very clear parameters, and a sound cannot bounce outside of those parameters, really. But dubstep is one of those kind of rare scenes where every conceivable influence is encouraged and allowed to be drawn into the sound. So you get everything from, you know, obviously old school UK garage was extremely important. The sound was born out of that. But grime, you know, Channel 1 and Jamaican dub has been really, really important. Minimal techno, and even artists like Distance and Vexed, who listen to the more kind of extreme avant-garde heavy metal bands like Sonar or System of a Down, and they're drawing in those really dark textures from the fringes of metal. So I think what you find is, as the sound has opened up, the diversity has become even greater, and there's this enormous, beautiful sort of rainbow spectrum of sounds, and it moves forward all the time. And I think the producers that are really going to make an impression in the scene are the people that imagine what dubstep might be. They're not the people who are copying what it already is. Sure, you know what I mean? The people that are coming with a completely unique original sound, and that's kind of been really, really key in terms of establishing who the top line are. Everybody has come with a sound that's utterly unique, and you can recognise it straight away. You think, yeah, there's Code 9, there's Loafer, there's Mahler, you know, there's Distance, there's Vexed, whoever it may be, there's Martin, there's TRG. You immediately, blindfolded at 100 paces, can say that's a TRG tune or whatever, you know, and that's a really, really wonderful thing. I think that people are encouraged to create a very unique sound.